Hello, 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 hello. Alright, well, thank you for coming back again for this next tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make a business card. Now, this is going to be kind of a two-in-one deal for you, uh, because basically it's going to explain how bleeds and trims work when you're working with high-volume printing medium. For instance, like if you do a business card or a postcard, a trifold, anything like that, there's always a bleed lines and trim lines. And basically your trim lines is anything that bleed goes off of it, that gets cut off. Um, Anything past the bleed line has a chance of getting cut off. So you want to keep anything like graphics or important text within those constraints. And I will explain that to you. Um, First off, let's get started here. Um, I use a template when I'm creating my cards. Um, this one is one that my company uses, and what I usually do is I have these already saved where my guidelines are already in here, because obviously when you start working you can't see these lines when you start creating your layers on top of it. Creating the guidelines makes it a lot easier to work with. So I'll show you how I do this. Basically, the quickest way to do it is make sure your rulers are on. If they are not, you can go up to View and Rulers. You can see I just turned them off, turn them back on. Because once you have your rulers, you can click on the ruler and drag down, and you have a guideline. Now I go ahead and I trace these out. And what I would do is any templates that you may have, go ahead and do the exact same and save them. It just makes life so much easier. So we'll want this one here. So we'll put that one there. That one there. I'm going to put two down here. And there you go. So basically now I don't need this background. I have my guides. So the business card I'm going to be creating is for a cemetery, or not a cemetery, a funeral home. I have the information that they gave me here in a folder, and basically I created a folder and I called it their name, Serenity Gardens, which is a fictitious name. It's not really their name. I'm not going to give you any of my client's information. But I also create a Word document that has all of their information that they want on the card and any other notes that I might have asked them. For instance, they want a tall card, which is why I'm using this elongated one. And they want the black and gray on the front side of the card and a sky blue on the back with the slogan on the back. And then I'll put all their other information on the front side. Now, I went ahead and I've got all their stuff I need. I've got their logo, some images that they suggested that they liked, and I've already kind of picked out what I'm going to use for this card here. But I'm going to go ahead and start out first by putting a gradient on the background here. Now they want a black to gray gradient, or black to gray, or black and gray on the front. So I'm going to do this by doing a gradient. Basically, if you go to your gradient tool, let's first create a new layer. All right, I'm going to go to the gradient tool, and then I'm going to go ahead and default this back to Photoshop's default, which if you click this icon right here, it'll switch it back. Puts it back to black and white. But I'm going to go ahead and change the white to a gray. Then I'm going to be on my gradient tool. I'm using the front to back gradient. I'm going to do a linear gradient. So let's go ahead and now I'll later do a video that explains more depth of how gradients work. But for the most part, gradient, if you click and hold and drag in a short distance, it makes a real sharp, fast gradient. It's not gradual at all. If you zoom out, which I'm just holding Alt down and scrolling with my mouse wheel, I can zoom in and out. The further you are when you create your gradient, the more subtle the change becomes. So I'm going to do something a little bit more abrupt. Now I want black on the top, so all I have to do is click on the top and drag down, and it puts black on the top. And you just kind of got to play with it till you get an idea of what you're looking for. Alright, so I've got a black and gray on the front. Now, this is not necessarily saying that this is exactly what the customer wants. I send them a proof of after I'm done, if that's what they're looking for, or it may inspire them and get them the idea of what they're looking for. Because sometimes they don't know. They have an idea, but they're not sure how to put it to paper. Once you send them something like, oh, I like this, but can you change this? Yeah, sure, not a problem. I've had clients where I've sent them, 6 or 7 proofs before they're finally happy with what they have, which I don't mind doing. I'd rather the customer be happy. But back to building the card. Went ahead and they gave me their logo here, which I'm going to go ahead and open up. Close this down. It's just a word, Serenity Gardens with a gold ring. Let's go ahead and drag it over to this one. I'm going to close this. Alright, so let's go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. And I think I'll put it on this side here. Do some asymmetrical here. Alright. Let's go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. Now they sent me this image here, which I liked. I thought it might be cool to put on the card. I'm going to take the angel out of the background, which I have already done before I started this video. And I'm going to take her out and put her in there. I've got some ideas what to do with her. So let's go ahead and take my one I've already cropped right here. Alright, let's go ahead and take her out of here. And drop her in here. Now, as you can see, I'm going to close this one. I don't need it anymore. As you can see, she's kind of small right now. It's not a big deal. Photoshop's pretty good at readjusting the image quality. Now, as you can see, if I move it around, she's getting squished and tall and really wide. But if you hold down Shift, you lock the restraints, and you can move her around, readjust her a lot easier. But now, here is where the bleed lines and trim lines come into play. Down here, let me just scroll down here so you can see. I don't care if she gets cut off right here. I am trying to make sure that her hand, though, does not get cut off. But here, I really don't care. I think I like where that is so far. Go ahead and submit to that. Alright, so they didn't give me a lot that they wanted on the front. Let's see. Go ahead and I got their name there. Let's go ahead and put their phone number. I'll do the phone number real quick. Now, shortcut keys, when you're in here, you can hit T for the text tool and just click anywhere. I've already copied it and pasted it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change the color. It's like a light gray. Now, you can always have fun with the stuff to see what goes along with it. I'm not going to do too much to this, I don't think. I'm going to try to keep this video pretty quick. Let's get their address. Copy. And let's go ahead and click. Control V, paste. Go that down. To highlight them all, I'm just triple clicking, so I can highlight them. Let me hit the left justify, I'm going to go ahead and resize this. Now here's kind of a neat thing. While they're highlighted, when I go up to my font size here, I can go up here and you see where it turns to two arrows. I can drag to the left or to the right, and it resizes it. These are called scrubbies. They're a scrubby slider. Basically, I'm just going to kind of resize it to about like that size there. I try not to go below 6 points. I found that on business cards it gets really hard to read. I try to stay about 7, 8, 9. It's bad to try to stay above 9 really. If you get too small, it just gets real hard to read. And, I'm going to go ahead and hit V to go back to my move tool, and I'm going to hold Control down and click on the angel here so I can move her around. Let's go ahead and hold Shift so I can hold the restraints. I'm going to shrink her down just a little bit. It's okay, her hand's right on the edge. It's okay, I guess, if that gets cut off just a little bit. You can always arrow key over to nudge her. Alright. That's good. Let's go ahead and click on my text here. Kind of like the idea of it being in that area right there. But I don't like how far that is. Let's go ahead and go back to my text tool. Click on that. Now I'm going to go over here to my character selection, and right here, if you click here, you can adjust the distance between the wording. There we go, that's a lot better. Click on that, and I'm just arrowing down a little bit just to move it subtly. Alright, and let's do, I got an idea, let's do one more thing here. Let's go ahead and go to the Control D. Let's go ahead and click on the angel again. Now I'm going to double click on her layer. It's going to bring up my layer styles. I'm going to add a outer glow. And I want to crank this up a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and add an inner glow. Let's crank that one up a little bit. Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. It's just a simple card. Like I said, if the customer wants to change it, not a big deal to me. I don't mind. Alright, so it looks like that's probably good for the front of the card. Let's go ahead and save this out. Go to File, Save As. Now, I'm going to save it as the front of the card as a PSD in their folder. But I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it BC for Business Card. Two-sided. Two-sided. So I know this is a business card for Serenity Gardens. Now, we'll go ahead and just copy their name here. It's quicker. Change the template. So I know it's a Serenity Garden business card, tall. Front side, tall. So now I know exactly what that PSD is. Now while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and save a proof of this too that I will email to the customer. So we'll go to File, Save As. I'm going to go up one directory, create a new folder. I'm going to call it Proof. Or Proofs, because you may be sending multiple proofs. Go into this folder, change the format to JPEG. And at the end of this, I'm going to call it Proof 1. So I know this is the first proof I sent. This also helps if the customer says, oh, I really like proof number 1 over proof 2 that you sent me, but I like this in proof 3. It just kind of helps instead of saying, well, it's the one with the angels glowing. Okay, which one? I have 3 of them. It's easier if they just know, number them, makes life easier. Let's go ahead and hit save. Now I'm going to adjust the image quality here to a lower resolution. Serves two purposes. It makes it to where it's easier to send an email because the file size is smaller, plus the quality is lower, so it's less likely chance that they're going to try to get it printed somewhere else. You can watermark it if you want, but I don't do that all the time because sometimes the watermark can really interfere with the graphic itself. But watermarking is not a big deal. It's real simple to make a template. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. One second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my company's logo and use it as a watermark. See, I'm just going to bring it in here. And I'll probably go ahead and turn it. But the trick about it, so I try to place it where it's not going to be a very, well, people know it's yours and they can't just take it out real easy, but it's not going to be obtrusive. And all I do is just take the opacity down. Just make it real faint, just to where it shows it's there. So that way it doesn't interfere too much, but that way they know, hey, this is somebody else's card. I can't print this. All right, now let's go ahead and save this as the proof. Let's go up to the proof folder. Save this as a JPEG. Tall. Front. Save. And let's go ahead and keep the image quality low. And there we go. All right, so we got the front done. Let's get working on the back real quick. I don't need any of this here. I'm going to go ahead and use the same template since I already got it traced out and everything. Just delete everything that's in there. And let's go ahead and start making the background. Now they wanted a sky blue background. So let's create a new layer. And let's change our foreground to background. I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to leave it to white. I'll switch this around. I want white to be my front. And let's find a sky blue. It's kind of a sky blue there. Alright. Now let's go ahead and work with a gradient again. I'm going to use this reflective gradient. And basically what this does is it'll take whatever's the top color and put it in the middle, and whatever is the background color and put it on both sides. So I'm going to kind of work this. Now I'm going to see how I can move it around. If you hold shift down, it restrains it to pretty much left, right, 45 degree, up, down. This way I know it's going to be nice and straight. I want it. I kind of sometimes play with it so you get the look you're looking for. Let's see here. No. It's better. I think I can do with that. Alright, the back's going to be real simple. I'm just going to put some text here. We'll go ahead and grab their text they want here, which is their slogan. And paste it. Now, as you see, its text is white. Oh no. You can always hold Control down and click on the T here for text on the text you're trying to do, and it will put the dancing ants around everything. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on the color change, and I want to it automatically goes to the color selector, but I can, when I move away, it goes to my eyedropper, and I can click on anything I want with a color. I can even take a image from another image and click on it, and it will change the color from that image. Very handy when you're trying to match things up. So I want to use this color here. That looks good. Go ahead and hit OK. Hit Control D to get rid of the dancing ants. And let's move this over here. Go ahead and enter that down. Enter that down. Now, so I can stay on my text tool, I'm going to hold Control down. That allows me to move my fonts, my text around without having to, get out of it, then go back in and get back out. It just makes it a little bit easier. It's one of my shortcuts that I use. Looks good there. All right, let's go ahead and See if the tracking is good. Yeah, I think that's good actually. Alright, so let's go ahead and resize it a little bit. Now, I want it to be exactly where it is. It's nice and centered, which actually is the way you can tell if it's centered. You can click on your background layer, hold the control down, click on your text layer, and then come up here to this button, and it will center it. So we know it is centered now, but I want to control down and click on the word. I want to readjust it, but I want to keep it in the center. If you hold Shift and Alt down, you will restrain it to where it just will expand and contract within the center. And basically wherever this dot is right here, that's your center. See? Okay. So I want to expand this out a little bit more. And if you hold Shift down while you're moving something, it also restrains it, just like anything else. So if I'm trying to move this from its normal place, or say it got off, if I hold Shift down, it'll automatically pop it back where its last known place was, or wherever I clicked on it. So I want it to be right about there. Alright, that looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and apply a watermark again. I don't know how well this one's going to work with that blue, but if nothing else, I'll just change the color. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this sideways again. Alright, let's change the opacity. Let's take it way down. It's going to make it real faint. That's going to be hard to see. This is one of the reasons I don't like using watermarks all the time. Yeah, for this case, I might just shrink this down a little bit more. There we go. There. So that way they know it belongs to us. Alright. And that looks like that's it for the back of the card. Let's go ahead and save this one out. Save as. Now I'm going to click on this just so I grab the font, the information. But I'm going to change this to back. So now I have two cards in there. Now I have two PSDs, so if they want any changes, I can just go right to it and do my changes. Now I'm going to go ahead and save as JPEG. Go ahead and put in the proofs. What do I call this one here? Oh, that's strange. Normally, I don't know what happened to that. That's weird. Proof 1. Like I said before, so you know that that's what that is. Alright, so we'll call this one back. Proof 1. If I can type today, that'd be awesome. There we go. And save it as low res. And that's pretty much it. That's how you create a card using bleeds and trims. Now obviously I don't care that this is going over there because that's not going to be on the final. I'll remove it and save it out as a higher resolution before I send it to our print. So but that's about it. If you have any questions, just send me a comment, or if you have any ideas for other tutorials you'd like to see, or have any questions or want me to show you how to do something, just leave a comment and I'll be happy to see what I can do for you. Otherwise, hope you guys have a great day and have fun.